I'm Jake, and this is the screencast for tracker data put into Logger Pro. This is for when an object moves in the negative direction. So the negative direction is left. So this graph is represented by the mathematical formula y equals mx plus b, or x equals mt plus b for our purposes when x is the position and t equals time. And so the formula is position equals slope times time plus the y-intercept. This position is represented by the y-axis. Time is represented by x-axis, and then the slope for this is negative 142.6 inches per second. This means that the object is traveling in the negative direction, and as it moves, and for every second it moves, it goes 142.6 inches. And yeah, so this graph is very similar to the last one, except that the object this time is moving in the positive direction, which means to the right. And then the formula is still the same, x equals mt plus b, or y equals mx plus b as we're familiar with, and it's the position equals the slope times time plus the y-intercept. And for this case, the slope is 19.39 inches per second, which means as the object travels for 1 second, it goes 19.39 inches, and the y-intercept is negative 1.150 inches, which means at 0 time, the object is at this distance right here. And again, here's the data. This is the x, or position, and time is down here on the x-axis, or the t-axis for time. Okay, so this graph is a little different than the previous two, because in this we have two objects, as you can see right here and right here. One is moving, they both start at the same point, but they move away from each other, because as you can see, this one is moving in the direction to the right, and this one is in the direction to the left. For this graph, they're all the same formula, but for this one, the slope is 11.61 inches per second, which means every second the object moves 11.61 inches, and at 11.43 inches, time was 0, and that was where it started. So they both started similarly. And then for this one, that's just moving in the negative direction, this one's moving in the positive direction. The slope is negative 9.839 inches per second negative as it moves in the negative direction. This one's positive because it moves in the positive direction. And at 0, the y-intercept, where time equals 0, as you can see right here, this is time, this is position. When time equals 0, this object is at 0.1098 inches. Okay, this graph is similar to the one I just showed you guys. This is when two objects move towards each other and pass each other. Okay, so for this graph, it's moving in the negative direction, and the same formula applies. The slope is negative 24.22 inches per second, which means every second that passes, the object moves 24.22 inches in the negative direction. And at 0 time, right here, it is at negative 5.23 inches. And then for the other one that is passing it, its slope is negative 22.65 inches per second, relatively similar to that, which means that for every second that passes, the object moves 22.65 inches in the negative direction. And the slope is a little different because it started at different points. It's at negative 64.96 inches. So that's when time is 0. It's at negative 64.96 inches. So that's this graph. Okay, this graph is pretty different because it's when a faster moving object passes a slower moving object, both moving in the same direction. One just is moving faster. So for the one on the top, this one has a slope of negative 17.26 inches per second, which means for every second the object moves 17.26 inches in the negative direction to the left. And then the y-intercept is negative 0.2276, which is where it was at when time equals 0. See, pretty close to 0. And then this one it's a faster object because, as you can see, the slope is negative 42.41 inches. So this means it's more than double, because as this one, for every second that passes, this goes 42 inches in 1 second. Well, this one only goes 17, so this is going 17, and this one goes 42 inches in 1 second, passes it up. This one starts at negative 29.19 seconds at 0 seconds. So this one is going at a constant speed of 17 inches per second in the negative direction. And this one catches up to it, starting at the same time, but goes faster and passes it up because it's going 42.41 inches per second, both in the negative direction. Okay, and that is pretty much it.